Great guest today.
I mean, why not?
Why not? Hey, I see what you did there.
Tony DiSilvestro. Sorry, that was like the total dad joke at the start of the episode. So why not?
We love it with the great name. So I'm throwing in a little something secret today. I got on.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even tell nobody I did this, but I got my red on. You know why?
Why?
Because we put these out on Friday.
Yeah.
Red Friday.
Yes.
Remember everyone deployed. I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah, you're doing your Friday.
This is my little touch, my little part.
I like it.
We live in a Navy city. Military city, so I'm just doing that on my own. I didn't even plan it. I just said, let me go red today.
You are fancy
on a Friday.
Yeah.
All right,
love it. You are
that's
fancy.
that's my homage to all you military people out there. Being
well, we
a veteran.
live in a military town, and we got to finally have Tony. There's no other Tony, so we can't finish the song lyric.
No, but one day we will.
Yeah, so T squared. So we're going to go with that today. So you get to come and hang out with us. Obviously, we both kind of known you in the community forever. So for the people who don't know, because we do put the show out around the world, so there's other countries. They don't know who you are, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
So I'm Tony DiSilvestro. Just an entrepreneur, love entrepreneurship, business. Founded, over 30 companies in my life, and it's a little serial crazy, but just love people. So everybody always asks me about business, but I'm only in one business. I'm in the people business. It's a pleasure to be here today. So being in a restaurant for me is like being at home. So I'm honored to be here today and to share with you.
Right on. I'm glad to have you. So listen, what your niche is, what people around here know you for is your pizza place.
Right.
You have a Why Not Pizza, which is the name came quite unique.
Yeah, it's my name backwards. I spelled my name backwards in first grade, and it's a little bit of a story there. But then my mom, my family, and my friends all called me Why Not since I was a little kid. So
that's
perfect.
So funny.
It makes sense, right? So it's Why Not Pizza is the name of your pizzeria. And here in Virginia Beach area, Hampton Roads, it's kind of hard to find really good pizza, especially from where we're from. You're from New Jersey. I'm from New Haven, Connecticut, which is pizza capital for me. And everywhere in between, that whole tri-state area.
Right.
Up there is we're really known for pizza. So you bring that style here.
Oh, yeah.
And you have been for years. So I remember back in the 90s going to your first and only location at the time, which was Great Neck Road. And it was the first place I can go and actually get a true sausage and pepper pizza that I liked, where it was done right, where the peppers were already cooked and put on there. They weren't raw when they went on the pizza. The sausage was sliced thin. You know what I mean? And I still remember that to this day.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was just a small little joint. And now watching you open up and go all over the place, now you have one off Providence Road where I live off that way.
Okay.
And that's our
how many do you have now?
I have 3 right now.
Three
but
now.
during the COVID, we closed like 4 of them. So,
so COVID had an effect on you, even being a takeout, carry-out pizzeria. You still felt that weight.
It really wasn't until when everybody was getting their incentive checks and everything, we were busy as anything. I didn't fire any employees. We had 350 employees at that point. I didn't fire any of them. So, but then once those incentive checks stopped, inflation went through the roof. It really started affecting families. So different than this restaurant where you're a little more upscale, higher end for me, but I'm dealing with mom and pop and the 3-4 kids coming in, and it's really hurt that part of the economy really bad.
Yeah, they couldn't do shit. They couldn't even buy a pizza.
They can't go to the supermarket.
They can't go to the supermarket, right? Yeah. So that was a hard time for everybody. In one of our past things we just did recently, we were talking about briefly, because I don't like to harp on COVID. It is what it was, and it was what it was, but we all had to suffer. But I feel the restaurant industry really took the hit. I felt like it was just to shut us down. I really took it personal when it was happening. Oh, yeah. It fucked with us, and our whole life's dreams were going down the tubes quick. Yeah. So moving on from that, you were able to move forward. So what was the highest point of your career or your business with Why Not? How many locations did you have at once?
We had 8 locations at one time.
So let's just talk about that for a minute, because I have questions.
Okay.
I have 2, and I want to slit my throat sometimes. But I know if I slit my own throat, I'm going to have to clean up the fucking mess, because probably no one's going to do it, right? So I don't even want to do that, right?
No doubt.
So how do you deal with that? Give us a couple of hints, or anybody out there who wants to expand their businesses. The biggest question is how do you mock yourself to go in different places? What's your biggest takeaway from that?
So this is what took me into coaching and teaching and coaching businesses all over the world. So one of the biggest things I tell anybody, I told a kid last night, I was coaching a young kid last night, and he goes, hey, he's got a fencing business. He's like, I want to grow my business. I said, you can't grow your business without people. So the thing is, when I say you can't grow your business without people, that means you have to have systems. And then after you have systems, then you learn how to delegate. 90% of the time when I go into companies, they don't invest enough time in their systems, and then you can't invest in your employees. So I don't hire people, I invest in people, right? So I make an investment. But when you're scaling, there's always that point when you say, why can't I grow? And I talk to owners, and I'm like, what do you do for the company? He goes, well, I'm the head of sales. Well, I'm the head of marketing. Well, you're never going to grow your business. If you're stuck in the kitchen cooking every day, like I was, it took me 15 years to become an entrepreneur. All I was a business owner for 15 years. I had my apron on every single day. I had a guy come in every day, tell me, take your apron off if you want to grow. Take your apron off. I'm like, I can run my business with my apron on. I'm really good. This is where I'm comfortable. Yeah. The day I took my apron off, I became an entrepreneur.
And I'm realizing that myself. So the more time I spend in the kitchen, the less time I spend growing. I just become a redundant faction of the kitchen. I become the sixth or seventh cook there. And it's hard to create and build and grow when you're doing exactly what you said.
Right.
So my biggest thing, and maybe you can relate to this, I don't give a shit if it's pizza, braciole, or fucking ossobuco. It doesn't matter what it is. When you're making something and you don't give it's hard for us to give up to accept the fact that it's not going to be perfect. It's hard to say, okay, it's not going to be the way I make it every single time, but we have to do it as close as we can.
Right, but if we talk about failures, right? If there was 100 entrepreneurs sitting in this room right now, the one thing they would tell me why they're successful, would they tell me it was because of their successes or their failures?
I would say failures.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. I tell restaurateurs all the time, you're never going to grow your company if you don't accept failure to a certain extent. But in my book, it says fail well. How do you fail well, right? That's what you need to make sure that we're doing. Every time I fail, I create a system. Every time a cook makes a mistake, I create a system. I look at that mistake that the cook, he didn't do the ossobuco right. So what I do, I say, okay, I need a better training process. I'm going to shoot a video on how to cook ossobuco. I'm going to sit them down and train them. But every time a failure happens, that's when I grow.
Right, and I use the same type of ideology in a sense. It's along the same lines, and I tell people all the time, you can ask me 1,000 questions as long as you're not asking me the same one twice, because that means you learn from it and I taught you right.
Right.
You know, so you're not going to learn unless you have the questions. But if you keep asking the same question over and over, either you're incapable of learning or I'm incapable of teaching. And I try and eliminate the part that I'm not capable of teaching.
So the interesting part, what you just said is criticizing yourself. So a young manager, what they'll do is they'll criticize the employee right away. Constantly.
Right away, instantly.
I mean, just say, hey, the employee's stupid, they don't understand.
Every time.
That's
the go-to, and that's the hardest part is when you said the term right there, manager. When the manager doesn't realize that, now you have a problem, because now you have a manager managing wrong.
Right.
And that's the problem. But
we need leaders.
We need leaders, right?
We need leaders that inspire and train and coach.
Correct. And the best way to do that, though, is to find people who have confidence in what they're doing in themselves first. And right now, that is a dying breed.
It is we could talk about that for a long time, but the thing is we as the leaders create the confidence through our systems, process, and procedure, right? So the beauty of what I did is I went through franchising for almost 15 years. I was been a franchisor and a franchisee, and what that taught me was the importance of systems. Like McDonald's isn't a restaurant; it's a system. That's all it is. They don't sell food; they sell systems.
Correct.
And so the more that once I learned that, it changed every single business I've ever opened.
So once you get a system you can rely on, the system proved to work, the system is what you focus more on the system than you do the product at the end.
Right. McDonald's has a problem. They have problems. They spilled hot coffee on somebody, got sued for millions of dollars.
Right.
But then they created a system. They put insulated cups. They put sleeves on the cups. So but that's how they adapted.
Right. You have to.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about your system, I mean, the way I look at it is this: if I spend a little bit more on better ingredients, it's harder for them ingredients to be fucked up. If you buy cheap ingredients, it's easier for that to come out even worse because you're starting with someone who has to learn how to make a cheap ingredient taste good instead of starting with a good ingredient and making it. There's room to move down. There's no room to move up if you don't do how.
Right. You and I are both chefs, so I know that for the same thing. I visit every manufacturer in my country. I milk cows in Wisconsin. I'm in the produce fields in Modesto, California.
Sure.
So when I go out there, I'm looking for the highest quality product because I know if I start out with the highest quality product, it's the same thing you just said. I have a 90% chance better for that dish to be unbelievable when it gets to the table.
Correct, because even if they mess it up a little bit, the ingredient's going to speak for itself anyhow.
100%.
A really good tomato, you have to butcher. But if you have a really bad tomato, you have to make it taste better. And if you don't know how to make that taste better, you're a victim of the tomato now.
No doubt.
You know? So I'd rather be a victim of the expensive, better tomato that at least still tastes like a tomato, even if done wrong. You know? So when you're making your pizza and everything, you started out in a small little place with this dream of being a pizza guy, right? You wanted to bring it down here. people took to it right away.
Oh, no doubt.
And they went to it. So did you find yourself cutting corners on ingredients as you grew, or not cutting corners, that's the wrong word, but you do at some point in time have to make sense of cost.
Right.
You know, and if you're going to produce and make profit on a pizza, it's not as easy as it used to be. $14 worth of dough 20 years ago, $40 worth of flour would make you 20 pizzas, whatever it costs.
Yeah.
And you could do that. But now that dough is tripled and the pizza has to stay the same. You can't, how higher can you raise the price of a pizza?
Yeah, there becomes price justification for sure. But the thing is, like, if anything, over 42 years in the restaurant business, I've only increased the quality of my food. And at a certain point, you have to say to yourself, what market do you want to be in? Do you want to be in the low-end cheap market, or do you want to be in the high-end quality market? So being a pizzeria in Jersey, like if you say the word pizzeria in Jersey, everybody from Jersey or Connecticut, New York, they all know that you have a full-scale Italian restaurant with a pizzeria.
Right.
When I moved down here, like, why not pizza? They're like, oh, you just sell pizza? I'm like, what are you talking about? So then I changed my name 3 different times over the course of it. So now we're like, why not Italian? So we serve a full Italian menu.
Sure.
Not at the same level you guys, white tablecloths, but the thing is, quality has always been where I started. So I have 3 pillars in my brand. It's family, quality, and community. That is my mission statement, my vision statement, everything. That's it. Family, quality, and community. So if I say the word quality, it's not just the food that I serve on the table. It's how do my servers look? How do I train? How's the front door feel? When you open up the front door, what is the feeling? Even when you touch the front door. Every single aspect of my business is quality. So I can't use that as my 3 pillars of my brand and lower the quality of my food.
Right.
It can never happen.
Because then you're dismantling the whole.
Right, sure. I'm not true to my brand.
Right. So when you go into when you're going now, let's talk about the good stuff of a pizza world, right?
Sure.
Because we can talk business all night, which we will. I'm sure she'll have a bunch of business questions for you. But when it comes to the food part, do you notice now that when you were starting out the pizza thing, it wasn't cool to be a pizza guy. It was everyone loves pizza, but being the pizza guy wasn't cool. I mean, now it seems like it's trending so much that all younger people are doing it to be cool, right?
Yeah.
So now it's like almost cool to be a pizza person, right? I see it
but
on
the Food
TikTok.
Network changed all
Food
that.
Network, and then you got like David Portnoy doing his ratings, and you have all that stuff happening. And it's like now it's like pizza's becoming. I'm looking at people online doing sourdough pizza, and cool. Yeah. That's really cool. I want to try it all and everything, but it's like, how the hell did becoming a pizza guy become? You're famous now, you know?
Well, I got a funny story about pizza. Like in Italy, like back in the day, like the pizza guys, they were getting jealous. So the pizzerias used to hire jugglers and out front to like have people come in. It would entertain them. Oh my God, what's going on? The pizza guys got pissed off. This is the legendary story. And they started flipping pizzas, spinning pizzas. So like all of a sudden they fired the jugglers, now the pizza guys. So it's been cool for a long time.
That's right.
But like for me, like I was in the Pizza Olympics in 1994 in Vegas, and like I was like the fastest pizza man in the world in '94 against 600 people. It was
That's
crazy.
a fun fact. I did not know
fun.
about
Yeah, it's
you.
cool.
Yeah, so but like for me,
We have an Olympian here.
pizza
Pizza Olympian.
Pizza's for me has always been. I love making pizza. It's like I have a huge Italian pizza oven at my house, and
Sure.
so like everybody comes over to my house for a party. Like
You still
you're
flipping and
making
spinning?
pizza still?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
of
like,
course you are.
I just love it. But I think the art of making pizza, it's creative. Usually the pizza guys are in the front of the store. They're not in the back kitchen.
Right.
So it's a different personality. Even when I'm hiring pizza guys, I'm looking for a certain personality.
Sure.
They have to be outgoing because they're going to
Talk to the customers. Yeah, right. Customer. It's the front of the house. It's basically. It's the front, back of the house.
server.
Right. When you walk in, the first thing you see is that, and that's what you want to see.
Oh yeah.
You have to see that. If you go into a pizza shop and don't see the pizza being made, where are you?
Exactly.
Was it a microwave? What's going on back there? So, Kristen, I know you have a lot of relations in a sense, a lot of business sense and stuff like that. Yeah. What are some of the things that you talk about? I mean, as far as turning your pizza place into a lucrative enterprise,
right?
That now goes away from the kitchen where I'm comfortable and I'm learning,
right?
And I'm learning that part of it.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more curious about the timeline side because we have construction too. So a lot of people in the area, I mean, they kind of know now, but they know you as the restaurateur, but they don't know the side of the entrepreneur. So timeline wise, when you started, what was the timeline when it was like restaurant, starting the construction company, and any of the other businesses? Like, how did those kind of piece together? And then the follow up is, how did the construction and that kind of business help you as a business owner in the restaurants?
Sure. So it all started in 1993. I opened my first restaurant.
Okay.
And from that day on, I just started building. So I built my restaurants. I did all the tile work, did all the stonework.
So you were doing the actual work.
Oh, I did it all. We couldn't afford it. I started with $60,000. I had no money. We were broke.
louder for the people in the back.
Yeah, we were broke. So
yeah.
I mean, $60,000. My step grandfather, not even my father or mother, wouldn't lend me a dime. My step grandfather comes to me and said, gives me a $60,000 check, and I start my restaurant. I bought all my booths and tables from a strip club.
Sure.
And like I had to repaint them all, and like I mean, we had nothing. So when I started the business, I was bootstrapping everything. So then I started doing all the tile work, and customer would come in and say, "Hey, do you know a plumber? You know an electrician?" I'm like, "Yeah." I send them my plumber, my electrician. And then all of a sudden they were coming back to me and saying, "Hey, we have a problem with the plumbing." I'm like, "I didn't hire him, you did."
Yeah.
So then I just started my construction company from there.
Oh, wow.
So I've been in construction almost 30 years.
Okay.
And most people in town don't have any idea that I do it.
No.
But I mean, I build big concrete homes, all custom built.
Yeah.
I probably have 30 jobs going right now with construction. It's actually bigger than my restaurants. But,
That's crazy.
My timeline with business, and everybody always asks, why have you opened so many businesses? I always open businesses out of frustration for the most time. And people are always like, "Oh my God, side hustles aren't good. Don't do a side hustle." Shit. That's all I do is side hustles. And side hustles just turn into a business. I told you earlier, I started a marketing company because I fired 4 marketing agencies.
Yeah.
I fired them all. I'm like, this is stupid. I'm just going to do it myself. And every business I've ever started was the same thing. I have a company called Employee Launch. It's a full-scale SaaS training company. Why did I start it? Because I was tired of telling employees the same thing over and over and over again. I'm like, I can build a software that can do this.
Okay. So similar to like a Trainual kind of software, like
yeah,
training
it kind of
program.
sits on top of Trainual.
Okay.
So it sits on top of an LMS. It's all upward
cool.
mobility training, almost like if the military, they have levels of training.
Yeah.
And then we give people a clear path how to grow.
So all of your businesses came from problems. So
Opportunities.
Opportunities. We'll call them opportunities. So when you were doing, like coming up through the construction side of it now, and I think people find that interesting. How did that affect you as a business owner in the restaurants? Because I think what a lot of people do is they open a restaurant because they're either, a good chef
yeah.
or that whatever, but they don't understand the business of it. So how different is it in those two businesses for your systems? Like, what is the real difference for people that are in the restaurant business?
So what the biggest thing that happened to me was the coming to the realization that no matter if I'm making a wholesale bakery, we distributed the whole state of Virginia with bread, pastries, everything. Yeah. Every business I've ever opened, when I started to realize that every single business was identical, that it was the people business. So if you take construction or restaurants, you start out with a raw product, right?
Yep.
In construction, I start out with 2x4s and nails and sand and mortar and concrete. And what do?
Yeah.
I build something.
Mm-hmm.
No different than you in the kitchen and me in the kitchen. We just build something. Yeah. But the thing that the most critical piece of the restaurant business and construction is people. Mm-hmm. So if I can't get my subcontractors to actually perform at the highest level and execute, then I can't build houses. If I do the same thing with my waitresses, I can make the best meal in the world and my waitresses can screw it up in 2 seconds, right? So that's what it is. It's the same exact business. Yeah. But as entrepreneurs, we become expert at a certain thing, and then we say, we're gonna go open a business. But we don't take time to invest in our people and create the systems and processes that actually make us entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. And by no means was I an expert at that. I mean, I worked 100 hours a week for almost 15 years straight, no days off. And that's a very common story in the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
Because
common,
I thought I was the one. I thought I had to do it.
You had to be there.
I had to
be
the person.
If you
it wasn't
going
to work.
But they're obviously working, and you're not there all the time. You are still there quite a bit.
I mean, I'm in my restaurants at night, and for mainly primary one reason, to shake hands and kiss babies, because I love my customers.
Sure. Yeah.
But am I in the kitchen anymore? I'm never in the kitchen. Do I have to? If I had to get in the kitchen, I kick all the young guys out of the way and say, "Get out of my way," because they're slow.
Just want to do it. Yeah. You're like,
no,
you're way too
I'm
slow.
way faster than
I'm the fastest pizza champion in 1990.
94. That was a long time ago.
Right. Well, that's
I need a photo of that too, so we can put that on here, because I don't think people know that.
It's cool you say that, because I'm in the same boat when it comes to that. I'm trying to learn how to get out of the kitchen now and make a little bit more of a business out of it as I age.
Sure.
I can, of course, and I love being in the kitchen. I still am every night. I was last night and the night before. So the thing is, it's at one point in time, I would like to get more into the business side of things, and that's what I'm working on now. With this type of dining, with this type of chef-created stuff, it's a little bit different, because a pizza is a pizza. You follow the recipe, and it comes down right. You make your dough, you make your sauce, everything works together. You just got to find someone who understands the temperatures and makes it happen. Here, it's a little bit different, because the steps of the service and the steps of the whole process are a little bit more intense, and a little bit more educated. And it's hard to find those people. So
you make me think about something, though. I want to interrupt you for 1 second. So, like, when I had my first restaurant, and then I opened at ODU in Norfolk, I'm like, this is going to be easy. And that's when I realized how critical systems were for my brand. When you open that second location, the first one was easy. I'm like, we're invincible. I'm making crazy amount of money. It's no big deal. I opened that second location, and I was like, why isn't this working?
Right.
I lost $500,000 to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I didn't have systems.
Yeah.
I didn't have the right people. I didn't know what it was to hire the right person or to actually motivate them, inspire them, and lead them. And I think that was the best thing. One of the best failures I ever had was that location, because it really taught me, before I opened up another location, before I opened up another business, I have to work on the system so much more in the beginning. And I think your second location probably taught you more, way more than your first.
Yeah, it did. The first one just worked because it was small. It was sought after. It still is. I have a great team there, but the systems don't apply because there's so much different here.
Right.
Now, it gave me a base on what not to do, but it didn't really teach me what to do. Here, I'm learning what to do.
Right.
But the first one taught me a lot of what not to do again.
That's amazing.
So it opened up a lot there. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So if there's a third, like my deli, and now the deli is going to be a twist, market is going to be a twist between the two. So now I know what not to do, what to do, and hopefully there I can do it better. And that's when the systems start coming in, I hope.
Sure,
You know
no
what I'm
doubt. And even though it's a deli, it's a different type of business. If you focus more on the systems of people and how the people are going to function, if you took anybody off the street and say, hey, make this sandwich or slice this meat, anybody off the street's got to be able to come in and do it seamlessly. Like, it's
Right.
not a big deal. But the amount of time that takes for you to create that system for that one process, that's where the investment is.
And then it becomes not somebody learning how to make pizza or make my sauce. It becomes finding someone who can follow a system. Because if you can follow the system, you can make the pizza, you can make
No
the
doubt.
sauce. But if you don't follow it, then I have to rely on you making pizza. But that's what I do. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You just need to do it how I want it done.
No doubt.
I don't need you to come in and do it different. I need you to do it the way I need it done. So finding someone who can follow the system is almost, if not more important than finding someone who could actually cook.
100%. I can teach anybody how to cook.
Yeah.
Because they have to follow
Process.
it.
They
Like we
have
have
to follow.
in our restaurants, we have pasta creation. So every time they make that meal, it's different every single time.
Right.
So they need to understand the process of saute
Right.
to actually perform at the highest level.
Yeah.
Exactly. What ingredients do what when, and
Right.
when they're introduced to the sauce,
Right.
to the oil,
Production, everything.
all that stuff. So when do you add this type of ingredient? No matter how your creation goes, you add this red onion now.
Right.
You add bacon now. You add prosciutto now.
Right. You
know what
don't
I'm
add shrimp first.
saying? Exactly. So you do it now, right? So it's you can create your own shit as long as you understand the system of the creation,
Yeah.
Exactly.
and that's not easy, and that's
But people, I think, is the one thing that we're talking about here. And I think in today's environment, COVID definitely changed the environment of employees. And I really...
in diners.
And 100% in diners, especially. We're a family-oriented restaurant, very, families, young kids coming in, high chairs everywhere. That's what we are as a brand.
Yep.
And the environment's definitely changed, but I think work ethic has changed a lot.
Right.
And
It
we're
has.
trying to adapt to that.
Sure.
And
And I don't know if it'll ever come back. I'm not sure. I do see that the younger generation, I'm talking about the kids that are coming in 19, 18 years old, are starting to be a little bit more receptive to working
Yeah.
than I do in the 25, 30-year-olds. That's the hardest part right now, is that 25, 27, 28-year-old.
I like 19-year-olds and 50-year-olds.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's where it is. If you could go back to when you were way back when you first started, what would the most crucial hire would you have made back then to take one of your hats off?
I would have hired a coach, a business coach.
Like your own coach to walk you through it.
100%, because I came from Jersey and we're a little cocky up there, and I came down.
No.
I knew everything, and I had a business consultant come in the very first time, and I'm like, have you ever been to restaurant business? He goes, no. I'm like, then get the hell out of here. It's a really stupid mistake.
Okay.
I
yeah.
really needed a mentor, and at that point, when you're a young entrepreneur, you don't want to tell anybody you're failing or you don't know what you're doing. You're afraid to tell people that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you need to be honest, and you need to surround yourself with people that have. And when I talk about hiring coaches, I'm going to hire a coach. They need to have done that before. They need to have been in a business, hired employees, done this. There's a lot of business coaches out there that I work with, I'm around, that have never owned a business. They watch YouTube. I'm like,
Well, they
a
had
coach in
to
a
have
box.
failed
I like
too.
to call those
Yeah.
coach in a box.
You can't
yeah.
talk about the failure if you've never experienced it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care what it is. The emotional connection to a failure is the same no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
no doubt.
You know
But
what
I
mean?
think the time collapsing, because again, you spent years making costly mistakes.
I did.
And if you had someone that was like, yeah, don't do that, it's going to cost you $10,000
Right.
or $500,000, it's going to cost you money. Don't do that. And you
Right.
pay them a little percentage. Yes, in the long run, you're going to actually make more money.
Right.
So, I mean, it's time collapsing with knowledge.
For me, it's like, I've hired over 20,000 people in my life. And when you hire 20,000, I'm like, oh, that sounds like amazing. That's amazing. How'd you do that? No, it's 20,000 situations that I've had to handle. It's all about situational management for me, right? So every time, the only thing that changes is that the face will change, but every situation is different. So it gives you a different skill level, and it's painful. I mean, it's been a very challenging piece of my business, but every single day I'm grateful for the opportunities I've had because it creates a different awareness every single day.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, it definitely makes a big difference. But yeah, I think that's the restaurant business isn't for the faint of heart, anyways.
I have 3 daughters and they're not in the restaurant business.
Yeah, so your kids are all in that entrepreneur space too.
They are. They all everybody's like, why aren't your daughters in the restaurant business? I'm like, I don't want them in this business unless they love it.
Yeah.
And, my girls grew up watching my wife and I work every day till 9, 10 o'clock at night, every night. And they're like, I don't want this for my life. I said, but if one of them would have came to me and said, this is my passion, they would be running all my restaurants right now. But they're all entrepreneurs. They're all in their own lanes.
That's cool. That's really
That's
cool.
good news too. It's the first thing we think is our kids are going to take this over, and I don't know if that's true. My kids don't. My kids love to eat. They love what I do and everything like that. But I don't think they're not passionate. They're passionate eaters, but they're not passionate in doing it. This is a special place.
Different level of passion.
If you force it on them or if you push them into it, you're definitely not going to get results there.
No doubt.
So it's a matter of, I bring my kids around, and if they grow into it, they do. If they don't, that's their choice,
That's great.
But I do know that I don't want them to do the same thing I'm doing as far as not being around and always being at work. And, I get up in the morning still right now, and it seems like the more I go, the harder it is. It's not the opposite where you think it's easier. It's not. So I wake up in the morning, I will go to bed thinking about specials, what I'm going to do, my ingredients, the losses, the gains. You're thinking about that all day long because we don't have much room for error here.
No.
It's not like if we're going to deliver a ship we're building and make $1 million, there could be a little paint chipped or something. We can fix that later.
Right.
Here, if our paint chips here, we're in trouble. You know what I'm
We're
saying?
the penny business.
Exactly.
I tell everybody all the time, they don't understand, but I love the restaurant industry, and we could complain about the restaurant all day long, but I was so blessed to be in the restaurant business because I was able to diversify and actually take any dollars I had and invest it in other places and really grow my life because of it. It was a skill that I was fortunate enough in Jersey at 15 years old for a boss to give me that opportunity. And I could easily look back and say, God, the restaurant business was horrible, but the restaurant business is who I am today.
Yeah, I couldn't see it any other way. My level of success from the restaurant or from working and being is from the restaurant business.
Right.
I've tried it other places and it just didn't suit me. I couldn't find a passion for it. It was always just a job.
Right.
And no, I didn't like doing anything else. And I do like doing this because I'm comfortable in it.
Right.
And it's a lot different when you have your own and you've worked for it and your staff works for you. I didn't have so much of a passion for it when I was working for other people, though.
Right.
But I still loved doing it because it's where I was comfortable going to work.
Yeah.
Without doubt.
Yeah. Well, and why not? I mean, you've turned it into a brand. It's not just a restaurant.
No,
so, I think for people out there that we've said this on the show. Your brand is your business. You are your brand is your business, and if you don't treat it like a business, it fails. So I've always lived by that in the marketing side of things. But when you had the restaurant, when did you know? Because you have, Why Not Wednesdays? You had the stuff with, the sports.
ODU. I'm in every arena in town.
You had all the arenas. You have all those things. When did you know that it was time to invest in that? Was there times where key indicators where you're like, okay, I have enough money, I want to expand this way, I want to invest in this? Or were those just opportunities that were brought to you?
So when I first started in '93, everybody said, oh my God, this is a franchise, because from the very beginning, my brand was so critically important to me.
Yeah.
We registered our trademarked all of our logos, our shirts. All of our employees have 401k, health benefits from day one.
Okay.
And so all of a sudden we started sponsoring Little League teams, soccer teams, and that's where it kind of grew from. Then all of a sudden I sponsored 3 Little League teams. Then I sponsored the entire league, and now we sponsor over 20,000 Little League players and 25,000 soccer players. And then all of a sudden everybody sees us sponsoring the Little Leagues, and then ODU comes and say, hey, can you sponsor our ticket system? And then the soccer arena says, hey, can you sponsor us? Then the amphitheater. And so it just kind of grew from there.
And with that, when kids are playing youth, they're growing up with that name in front of them. and then eating that pizza after the game and going to it becomes a
huge brand.
It's a brand.
Yeah. So you built into that. So and tracking, like for people who don't know how to do that, like tracking ROI on that kind of stuff. Do you have any systems for that?
What my suggestion with tracking ROI, I'm a big ROI person, but tracking, I always look at all of my vending and my outside catering as marketing.
Okay, so it's in your marketing budget.
It's a marketing budget for me. If I make money on Why Not Wednesday, but see a day like today where it's raining, I know you can't see outside, but a day like today it's raining, I lose the entire day.
Yeah.
You know, if it rains and I'm at the amphitheater and it's a concert going on, I'll lose the whole day. So I can't look at it as a normal business where I can scale it. We're in four walls, you know, you can predict that this business is going to be busy today. But on outside vending, when you're scaling in your sponsorships, it's purely marketing for me.
Do you have a percentage that you guys put towards marketing? Do you have a set percentage?
You typically, we always 4%, 4.5, 4% for marketing. And, you know, when we were full-fledged with all of it, when we were spending almost $400,000 a year on marketing alone, just in sponsorships, and then another $400,000 on top of it. So it was a big, big expense for us. So we've cut down since COVID. We're probably half of that right now.
But a big payout in the back.
Huge. I mean, just building a brand. So, like,
notoriety,
what
trust.
You're saying is that brand is so important, and I've always been hyper brand focused.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, and I know you, so I mean, I know what you do in the businesses. So
I mean, just the event last week.
Yeah, you do events all the time, and we all know the name, which is cool. But I just think a lot of, not just restaurant owners, business owners in general, don't quantify like marketing budgets. Like they don't look at it and they're like, oh, we're just gonna have someone in the kitchen do social media every so often. When you pay someone, yes, that's an expense, but you know, you got to do something at some point.
Yeah, you can't look at the labor. Like the problem is people look at like hiring that social media person and saying, oh, that's a labor cost like hiring someone, but that is purely a marketing expense.
It's marketing.
Everything I do, if I give away free food, if I give away, say I give away 100 pizzas, I don't look at it as food costs. I look at it as marketing. Take that expense and put it to marketing.
Okay.
And I don't think restaurateurs focus enough on their brand and how are they sending their messaging. What is the messaging they're projecting out?
Yeah, well, it's good. And you've turned it into, I mean, you started, obviously, the book. You wrote the book. You have the speaking business now, so you started doing that. This parlayed into business coaching. So how many technical LLCs do you have right now?
I think 16 or 17.
Okay, well, I mean, it's just a couple.
Yeah. Just a few,
Just a couple.
It's working
I mean, we're just adding
So
shit on.
tell us about your book. How long did it take you to write that book, and what's the name of it? Where can people look at for this thing?
Yeah, my book is The Business Scaling Blueprint. It's on Amazon. Anywhere you can buy a book, it's everywhere.
I actually saw it in the airport when I was in Atlanta or whatever, and I walked
really?
by and took a picture because I was like, oh, that's my friend. How you doing?
Cool.
It was in every airport all the way across the country.
It was awesome.
Forbes produced my book for me, so I'm on Forbes podcasts, I'm on the Forbes blogs. But my book is The Business Scaling Blueprint. It's basically 8 fundamentals of business, how to scale your business, all the way from people, a lot of what I talked about today. But my book everybody asked me how long did it take you to write the book. It took me 42 years to write the book.
Yeah.
Because it is in my
to put it.
entire chapter of my life in business.
Sure.
And my passion is to inspire entrepreneurs and leaders all over the world. And that's really my goal. That's the next chapter of my life. I'll probably, I don't know how long I'll be in the restaurant business, construction business.
I was going to say, are you going to open another restaurant?
No, my full business is going to be just helping inspire people all over the world. I want to impact the world, and being in a restaurant or stuck in construction I'll never be able to do that. So I'm 56 right now, so my next career.
It was a good vehicle to get you there, though.
Wow.
Right?
I mean, I could. That's when I say 42 years to write a book. I would never be the coach or the mentor or the speaker that I am today without all that. I mean, I am who I am because of the experiences in my life.
Sure. When you're around people all the time and you're trying to please them, you learn quickly how to do it and how not to. And you learn a lot about temperamental. You learn about people's feelings and emotions, and reading a room and reading their faces, reading their eyes, knowing what's hitting, what's not. If you're not, being in the hospitality business gives us a direct to that, and it's important because I'm now learning it myself, you know.
Right.
Whereas before I was shut off to it. I want to make good food. I'm a chef. Don't bother me. Da 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 da. Well, now it's the total opposite. Now it's like, let's be a little patient. Let's see what they have to say. Let's think about it. Let's move forward. And how can I turn this into something that I don't have to be cooking every day? Because there's going to be a day that comes where I don't want to be in there every day.
No doubt.
Yeah.
My body just can't handle it at some point in time.
And your business, it'll be hard for you to grow your business without it.
Without it, right.
If you're stuck in behind that, it took me forever to learn this. But you brought up awareness, and I always tease people, and I say on my tombstone, it'll be the man that tried to solve awareness.
Yeah.
Because it's probably one of the most frustrating things for me. I have crazy 3D vision. I see things in 3D. But you know as well as I do, the restaurant business trains us to have awareness.
Sure.
We see the person that drops their fork or the person that comes out of the bathroom and like they're wiping their hand. I'm like, oh, the paper towel's out of the bathroom?
Yeah.
Like, we see that.
And a lot of people don't have that nowadays.
No,
Like,
but...
Well, it's funny because
they're all in their
Skylar, there's one of my, she's on our team, but she's one of our servers for a while here.
Right.
And she can tell you that I say to everybody in our meetings a lot of times, the biggest thing I worry about here is situational awareness. If you can master situational awareness, you can master the rest of the room. It's that easy. You know how to do your job. You know how to serve. You know you're skilled to be here in this place. Now you have to worry about situational awareness. What's going on outside of your bubble is what's going to make us better. If everyone pays attention to your bubble, and your bubble, and you drop a silver on the floor and it's not your table, then obviously that's situational awareness. If a guest walks through the front and they're looking around and you can tell they haven't spoke to anybody and they're kind of lost, going to them directly is situational awareness.
Right.
Without it, we're nothing. You know what I mean? We're nothing.
Oh, we can't. I'll go back to the thing. We can't scale our business without people.
Right.
So situational awareness creates scaling. Even if we look at scaling in these four walls, you're scaling through your people.
Right.
You can't grow your business if the servers are constantly not doing the right thing.
Right.
You won't scale. You'll grow. You'll go out of business.
Right.
And that's, if you look at that, if you look at business from inside these four walls of a restaurant, it's no different than opening up another 50 locations. It's the same exact process of that waitress seeing that person at that front door.
And what you said about scaling is interesting because the other thing about awareness is in order to grow as well, you have to be aware of your scaling down. When things start scaling down, you have to admit it, find the problem quick. And a lot of the times I find out the problem sometimes was me.
No doubt.
Not
Look in the mirror.
addressing it, not taking charge of it or letting it slide or putting someone else on it. Or these are things that I realized in time from the other place, the original place. One of those things I learned not to do is let things slide or not address them when I should, or not admitting that, okay, I should have just did it this way. You know?
Right. My father was a police officer, and like he always had this thing, the man in the mirror. He's like, because whenever I did something wrong, he goes, go look in that mirror, because that's the problem. And it didn't really resonate with me as a kid.
Yeah.
But like, I train my managers now, criticize yourself first, no matter what. Assume, in delegation, there's 4 steps to delegation. It's to task the person, set an expectation, to follow through. I said, if you think you've set the expectation and they still make a mistake, you probably didn't set the proper expectation. If it happens 3 times, man, maybe I'm looking at the person at that point. But first thing I'm going to do is criticize myself that I did not set the expectation properly.
Right.
It's smart. It's smart. It's just different. I mean, leadership and kind of universal. It doesn't matter what your business is.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I think that's the best part. But you've taken a lot of risks. So I think that's another part of the success factor is you have to be somewhat not crazy, but just be able to take the risks without have as much fear as other people.
My daughters would tell me, because I used to say all the time that I'm crazy, and my daughters would start telling me, Dad, stop saying you're crazy, you're blessed. But my wife would probably not like me saying that I'm a risk taker. She thinks I probably no more businesses.
I know.
But
Lord bless her. She puts up with it. She does a great job keeping up with you. Yeah,
it's who you are, right?
It's who you are.
People don't understand that about people like us or entrepreneurs. Doesn't matter what you're doing.
Right.
Is once you have that in your blood, you can't stop. And it's not that it's. I'm not. People say, "Oh, you're married to work. You're addicted." No, I'm not. I'm just. This is who I am, and this is what I like to do. It's not anything more.
I love it.
I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. No. This is just how I get up and function. Yeah. It's how I function. It's more comfortable. I'm comfortable.
People think you're money driven. That's the furthest thing for me. I am so success driven. And now, as I've become later in life, I am people-driven to help other people be successful because I've had the opportunities in life. I've been the crazy risk taker. And, in business, it's usually some very simplistic things that stop a business from growing and succeeding and going out of business.
Yeah.
Very simple. And you in your branding world, people just don't even understand the company they're working for. They don't understand their purpose. No. And as founders, we think it's X, but it doesn't make sense to the customer or the employees. Yeah. So I spend a lot of time coaching companies through their people and their customers, and then going back and seeing their vision.
Well, yeah, it's a feeling or a solution. I mean, if you have one of those 2 things, you'll be successful.
Love solutions.
Yeah, I love solutions. So if you have a solution to a problem, which you've solved by opening multiple other businesses to solve those problems, or if you just create a feeling. So your brand itself should boil down to one word. How does it make you feel? It should be one word. And if you can't do that, then you haven't done enough work on the back end to actually figure out the ethos of your brand. So yeah, I mean that's always a thing. Like
we can
always
talk
say,
brand forever.
I know we've had these like discussions, and he operates in some of the same circles I do, and so it's fun because a lot of people don't realize it, and it's the most overlooked part of some of these businesses. So
No doubt.
it's not the dollar all the time. It's the longevity and
I think the dollar will come if you do the right thing. The money will come. If you sit there and focus on the
100%.
money, you're going to make a lot of mistakes trying to make money.
Yeah.
You'll never make money.
Right, because money
I tell
sucks.
young entrepreneurs, I'm like, why do you want to open a business? I want to be rich. I'm like, don't go in business.
Don't
Yeah,
do
right.
that.
I'm like, do not go in business.
Yeah, because you can't
Don't
control
do
that.
it.
Yeah.
Don't do
You can't
it.
control it. The only thing you control is how you go about your day and how you go about putting out there what you want to project.
Yeah.
You can't control if everyone's going to bite it or not, if they're not going to bite on that worm. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Then
So
there's a lot of other things.
You could be the
that come
best
into
chef
it.
in the world, and you could lose your business in 2
Oh
seconds.
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
It doesn't
100%.
matter.
Yeah.
You're not in the food business.
Right.
It's it's just
Where
creating.
I'm not in the food business. I'm in the people business.
Yeah.
Because I have to get every single person that's in that restaurant has to perform at the highest level for me to execute.
Right.
To
And
actually
every guest
survive.
has to be impressed enough to want to come back. If they
Right.
don't come back, you're going out of business.
The busboy, or they can destroy your restaurant
Yeah, of course.
True.
in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like we said, the cancers, like when you're trying to cut things out, you just
Yep.
just cut it off, just get
I mean,
rid of it.
There's been many restaurants I've gone to
Yeah,
that the server has messed around. I haven't gone back to the restaurant.
exactly.
I haven't
But
gone back.
that's- yeah.
Because the experience was so bad. But I didn't mind the experience from a waitress giving bad service. But where was the manager?
Like nobody
knew
stepped
about it.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
He didn't react.
yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
problem too, is when people don't go after it.
Yeah.
You have to handle it. Look, problems happen, but it's not the problem, it's the solution. If your solution is bigger than the problem, you'll fucking succeed.
The best customer in the world. The ones I've screwed up, the customers I've screwed up in my life, because the way I handle the problem, they become my best
your
customer.
That's
better-
right, exactly.
That's true.
Exactly. 100%.
Great.
Yes.
I mean, that's an amazing thing for every restaurateur to learn right
Yep.
there.
Yep. Treat every. Yep.
And so many managers are like, oh, they're a pain in the ass. They're a horrible customer. I'm like, if I put my best server on that table, would they have had the same problem?
Exactly. Yeah. No. You can kill them with
Right.
kindness sometimes too, and they come back around.
Well, when it
That's-
comes to the servers, every server is the customer is the piece of shit. It's always the way it is. But maybe they're not wrong. Let's see what they have to say.
Yeah.
Not every bad review is wrong.
No, they're great.
You know what I mean?
No.
Oh, you
there's-
talk about reputed reviews. I mean, I'm open 32 years. I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I didn't have it when I opened. That is gold. I mean, in your business, in the branding business, it's
Yes.
gold.
You can find out a lot of things.
And how many people use it?
Everyone.
Now, how many people use the actual review, though, to change
Oh,
their
you're
business?
talking about, well, I do, and I look at them all, and I do realize there is a big window now of where the review system has gone a little awry, where people are just bitching and they're complaining about their moment.
Yeah.
But all that aside, though, you can learn a lot from them. That's where I learn a lot of what's going on in dining room. If you read the same review and you know it's the same person over and over again, obviously every customer is not an asshole. Maybe you're an asshole. Maybe you serving sucks. Maybe you're the problem.
Right.
Maybe you're an asshole. You know what I'm saying? If somebody says 3 reviews in a row that they waited forever to see their server, and you look back and it's the same server, well, then there's your answer. You know what I'm saying? It's quite simple. You know.
And even the bad reviews that I get, I always look for some 10% in it. It's like when you're playing billiards, somebody says, I don't have a shot. I'm like, you always have a shot.
There's something in there
But
that's
it's every review. If it may be 2 words. I'm like,
I can get
I'm trying to put myself in I'm sitting in the dining room,
That's
sitting
right,
where they
yeah.
were sitting.
Yeah.
You know, just there's something. But
It's a learning experience.
Yep.
Typically, it happens at the front door. I tell you all the time. Something happened at that front door when they walked in that set this chain of events, man.
No doubt.
Something happened, and most of it is how you didn't handle it.
I'm a Nazi with my front door. I see somebody standing at that front door for more than 20 seconds. I'm like, who's got the door?
I know, me too.
I'm like, wake up.
Oh, I do it too. I mean, he knows I'm here a lot, and
can't
so
get
I'll
out
be
of
in
us.
here and I'm like, this light's off. This light, like I do it too, but I'm also that type of person. So I'm like, yeah, we all
Situational
have to
awareness.
be. You
Awareness.
have to be.
Exactly.
I mean, sometimes people don't notice things. You got to call it out.
If you have situational awareness, you have it no matter where you are.
Yeah.
You could be in a subway looking around saying,
You're
why is that
always
sticker
noticing.
peeled on the wall that's telling you how to get off the damn thing in an
Yeah, it's
emergency?
Navy SEALs. I mean, they come in my restaurant and they're the most stoic people in the world when they come in. So I know I'm like, Navy SEAL, Navy SEAL, Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
But they're so hyper aware of everything that's going on. They
Sure.
sit there very stoic. I love
Most
it.
of them, yes, until they get older and then they just don't notice
They
anything.
don't care anymore.
Yeah, they don't care anymore.
Just have
So
fun.
that's welcome to my world.
No doubt.
sometimes they're just like, it's fine. Everything is fine. Yeah. But it's great having you on. I think that a lot of people in this area, they know the name, they know the brand, but they don't know everything else you have done. So it's pretty cool. So thank you for like taking time out for all of your 16 businesses to come.
Can you give us a little something on where they can find your book is on Amazon? Repeat that if you don't mind. And where else? You got anything else you want to put out there?
We're the Business Scaling Blueprints, my book. You can go to TonyDiSilvestro.com. So I have a full website with that. And I'm at my restaurant 6 nights a week, shaking hands and kissing babies on Great Neck Road. So if you need to find me there, but honestly, just my website's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Awesome.
And LinkedIn, Instagram, I'm everywhere with that.
And everybody knows Why Not. It's easy to find.
Yeah,
so go find
Why
it.
Not Pizza. Great
Check
stuff.
It out.
Good pizza in the area.
I know. 757. So we're supporting, and it's great. So, thank you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for all you do for the community. Thanks for all you do for the restaurants and everybody else. You keep the standard, at least in the pizza world, to where everyone else has to stay up with you. Yep. And that, in turn, is good for everybody because we get a better product all the way around.
No doubt.
We'll have a marketing discussion later.
I'm ready.
We'll do a restaurant marketing.
I'm ready. I love it.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right, my friend.
My pleasure.
Sounds good.
All right.
Ciao for now.
Ciao.